Sometimes I wake up at 9 and like go until 1 a.m. the next day, just making hand sanitizer, responding to emails, and then also running the social media account or updating the website. It could be really time consuming. I think it kind of consumed me, but I also like enjoyed it. Just had a lot of fun running the business. Yeah, it makes you feel very like powerful. I mean, you are powerful when you run your own business, so.
Welcome back to Shining a Light, the show where we shine a light on the activist of the week. This week's activist is Julia D'Amato, a rising sophomore from Cambridge, Massachusetts, who created her own hand sanitizer called Julia's Cleansers and donates 100% of the profits to Save the Children's Yemen Fund. In this video, we go behind the scenes of how she created her own business and how she raised over $1,400 in just a little over a month's time. I learned a ton from speaking with Julia and had a great time learning from her, and I hope you do too. Like this video, subscribe to Shine Global so you can stay tuned for the activist of the week. And now, let's get into it. Hi Julia, thanks so much for being on Shining a Light.
Thank you for having me.
So to be totally transparent, I did not know a lot about what was going on in Yemen until I started prepping for this interview. So what I want to know is, how did you learn about what's going on in Yemen, and what made you want to focus your activism on that?
Basically, I don't have a family connection to Yemen or even through friends. I just saw a bunch of social media posts in early June, around the time when the George Floyd protests were picking up media attention. And they were describing how much worse the situation is getting because of COVID. So I just thought, I don't need to have like a strong connection to Yemen, or it doesn't have to be a local issue for me to care about it, because it is the biggest humanitarian crisis right now. So I just decided I had to do something about it.
Very cool. I feel like there's this us versus them mentality in America right now, which is something you were able to supersede. So I'm curious, what does community mean to you, and how did you come to view Yemen as part of your community?
Yeah, well, I guess sometimes I regularly like to zoom out of my like little bubble and just think like there's a whole world, we're all part of the same earth. I know that sounds like cheesy or like cliche, but it's just a fact. So I feel like I think about this oftentimes with humans when I think like, oh, I have a sister, but I guess we're all in ways related, everyone on the earth. Like in that same kind of way, we're all on the same earth and we all deserve love and to be safe and to not be bombed like every night. So I think that, again, I just feel like I don't need to live right next to someone who's being greatly affected by this to actually care about it.
Amazing. All right, so now we're going to play a game called Three Things, where I'm going to list off three things and you're going to give rapid fire responses, okay?
Oh boy, okay.
What are three songs that get you pumped?
Wildflower by 5 Seconds of Summer, Feel It Still by Portugal the Man, and Falling Water by Maggie Rogers.
Maggie Rogers gets you pumped. Amazing.
Yeah.
That's a tranquil spirit.
Yeah.
Three pets you weren't allowed to have.
Dog, snake, lizard.
Three sports Air Bud should have played.
Soccer, lacrosse, and ice skating.
Yeah, we need an Air Bud ice skating movie.
Yes, we do.
All right, three foods you'd eat the morning of a protest.
Pasta, eggs, waffles.
Three friends you want to give a shout out to.
Ooh, okay. Taj Malik Gary, Phoebe D'Amato, my own twin, and Josie Thorner. Yes, because
Cool.
They're all good friends.
Julia, I'm curious, what is the day-to-day like of running Julia's Cleansers, and what is it like running your own business?
It kind of varied on the day, how much time I spent on the project. Some days I would wake up at like 9 a.m. because I never wake up before 9 a.m. And sometimes I wake up at 9 and like go until 1 a.m. the next day, just making hand sanitizer, responding to emails, giving things to volunteers to bike over, and like wrapping. and then also running the social media account or updating the website. It could be really time consuming. I think it kind of consumed me, but I also like enjoyed it. Just had a lot of fun running the business. More so than I thought I would initially. Yeah, it makes you feel very like powerful. I mean, you are powerful when you run your own business, so.
I wouldn't know yet, but you're inspiring me, so I might make that happen. I'm curious, something I noticed is you're using the Julius Cleanser's Instagram to post interviews with real people in Yemen. Can you tell me about those interviews and something you've learned or something that surprised you from doing them?
So I think that, well, before the interviews, I had some thoughts about how they would go, and I actually was thinking that some of the people I interviewed, because I asked one of the questions to all of them that was about what do you think of the Western media's portrayal of Yemen, and I thought that they would have problems with how like in need of assistance and like completely like joyless the media depicts Yemen as. But they were saying it's good to be depicted as that because that's how people notice that it needs help, and it's not a problem that Yemen needs help. Because I had assumed that it would be it's kind of depressing that all of the news articles are from the same perspective as, oh, someone got bombed or this really bad thing happened to a kid in Yemen. And so I assumed that they would have opinions that were like, yeah, I agree, this that I wish they showed more joy in Yemen, but they were saying there really isn't a lot of joy in Yemen because of all of these issues. Mm-hmm. So that was interesting to me. Some of my not negative judgments, but my judgments of how the interviews would go were proved wrong, and I thought that was super interesting. And it definitely was a lot more informative of an experience than if I had just read an article, because I got a glimpse into each of these people's lives and what they had actually experienced unfiltered. So yeah, I think it was very valuable.
Amazing. Well, speaking of breaking down preconceived notions, now we're going to play a game called Who Said It?
Okay.
Drake or the Dalai Lama? Accept yourself. You don't have to prove to no one except yourself.
Drake.
Yeah. Can you imagine if the Dalai Lama said that?
I would love that. That'd be iconic.
The true hero is the one who conquers his own anger and hatred.
The Dalai Lama.
Never let success get to your head and never let failure get to your heart.
Drake.
Wow. Crushing this. Sometimes it's the journey that teaches you a lot about your destination.
The Dalai Lama. How?
Is Drake the Dalai Lama? Sleep is the best meditation.
The Dalai Lama. Yes, I was gonna cry if I didn't get that one.
Lastly, compassion is the radicalism of our time.
Dalai Lama. Yes, I got the last one.
All right, so the final thing I want to ask you, and what I've been asking to all the activists who've been on this series, is what is one thing you'd want to say to a kid who's thinking about becoming an activist?
I would say, really don't think too hard before you go into it. If you feel like you can change something, it doesn't have to be a huge change, but if you care about a cause, dive into it and at least research it more, see what you find, see what you can do about it, see what is within your capacity, and don't make excuses for why you can't do it, because you can definitely do it. Even if you're not an adult, and honestly, especially, you can cause a big change, a big storm, a good storm. So don't give up, and don't let yourself off the hook either, because you are the future. So we have to have plans for going forward.
Yes. Julia D'Amato, thank you so much for being on Shining a Light. It's a pleasure having you.
Thank you so much for interviewing me. I had a lot of fun.
Everyone, thank you so much for watching. This has been episode 15 of Shining a Light. If you enjoyed this video, please share it and subscribe to Shine Global so you can stay tuned for the Activist of the Week. I've linked Julia's Instagram in the description below, so check that out, and I will see you all next week.